everyone, my name is D. Sandeep. I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Information Technology of MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. I am discussing about the Python programming language. In last class, we discussed about what? The sequences of Python, that is string data type which represents a sequence of characters. So that is the thing. And also we discussed about that operations of strings, that is slicing operation, repetition operation, right? And also that index number. By using that index number, we are going to access the sequence of character. But if you are going to use that index, then we can access only one character in the string. So if you want to access a sequence of characters or the substring of a string, then use this slice operation. The slice operation represents the square brackets. Anyway, this is the last class video. This is the last class video, last class example, which is slice representation. So the slice represents what? Three fields, that is start value, next one is stop value, and next one is step value. This 0 represents what? Start value. And that 7 represents stop value, which is excluded, and 1 represents step value. It means for each character or for every character of the string, it will print or it will access one character later, right? So anyway, this is the slice operation, or we can say slicing, and also repetition operation, which we can represent the star symbol, which is used to print the string number of times, which is used to print the number of times. For example, if you want to print 2 times of a string or 2 times, then use this repetition operator, then the string will be print in 2 times, right? See, now today we are going to discuss mutable and immutable concept. Actually, we have to discuss after the completion of strings in the sequences of Python, we had that bytes data type and byte array data type, like that one, as follows. But before going to discuss that concepts of sequences in Python, we have to discuss an important concept which is very important to understand, and we get the more clarity on the data types in Python, that is mutable concept and immutable concept. First of all, what is this mutable and immutable? So before going to discuss, if you want to understand these mutable and immutable, then we need to discuss about the Python virtual machine, which is the creation of an object, right? Anyway, see, every variable in Python holds an instance of an object. For example, a equals to 10. Now, what is this? This is a variable and this is a value. But in Python, everything we are considering as an object. In Python, everything is considered as an object. Now, the 10 is an object. Okay. Now, an object is created and 10 value is stored, and it is referenced with an variable a. And it is referenced with an variable a. This we can say reference variables of an object 10. Of an object 10. So that is the meaning of this statement. See here, every variable, that is the variable a, holds an object of which class? Int class. Of which class? Int class, which the value is 10. Every variable in Python holds an instance of an object. So here the int class object contains 10 value that holds a variable is a. That's why we referred a. Anyway, there are 2 types of objects. How many types of objects in Python? 2 types of objects. So mutable objects, and second one is immutable objects. We'll discuss one by one. Now, the next point here is whenever an object is created, the Python virtual machine assigned a unique object ID which represents the memory address of that object. For example, here a equals to 10 we define. A equals to 10. Whenever an object is created like this one, then for this object the Python virtual machine assign a unique ID, for example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that one, unique ID, and this represents what? Memory address of that object. Memory address of the object, and this memory address can accessed by using one function, that is ID function, which inbuilt function of Python, and also we discussed for every data type to get the address of the object by using ID function. And then next, after the unique address is assigned, then at runtime the Python virtual machine assign the data type. So this is the statement of this assigning the data type for the object at runtime. So these two statements are very important to understand that mutable and immutable concept. Whenever an object is created, internally the Python virtual machine assign an unique ID that represents that memory address of the object. And second thing here is, at runtime the type, that means which data type of the object is assigned, it will be that is by the Python virtual machine. That is, which type of the object is defined by the Python virtual machine at which time? Runtime. So this is the two important statements. Now the next here is very important. So to understand what is the mutable concept and immutable concept, based on this statement we can understand. Generally in Python, if a new object is required, for example a equals to 10, now we have to create, now a new object is needed to be created. But here in Python, the Python virtual machine won't create the object immediately. Whenever you represent or when these statements are executed, then immediately the Python virtual machine won't create an object immediately. Then what it will do means, first it will check, is there any object available with the same content or not in the memory That means already with this value, is there any object or not? At present there is no object. With this value. So that's why if there is no object with the same value, then the Python virtual machine create an object and refer that variable. For example, b equals to 10, a equals to 10 and b equals to 10. Now whenever this statement is executed, the Python virtual machine won't create an object immediately. It will check the memory whether with this same value is there any existing object or not. First it will check with this same value, is there any existing object or not. Now see, in this memory already there is an object with that value. Now what will be happen, or what will do that Python virtual machine is, whenever there is an existing object with the same value, with the same value in the memory, then the Python virtual machine won't create an object. The object will be reused and referred to the variable b. So in this way the Python virtual machine creates an object. So due to this one, what is the advantage here is, that memory utilization and performance will be improved. Memory utilization and performance will be improved. For example, C equals to another variable I am assigned, that is same value 10. Now what will be happen? The Python virtual machine won't create object immediately for the C. It will check whether there is an existing object with the same value in the memory address. Now if there is an existing object with the same value, then that object will be reused and referred to C the C. So in this way the object creations will be happen by the Python virtual machine in Python programming language. So due to this approach, what will be happen? That memory utilization and performance will be improved. So that is the one important point. But due to this approach, there is one drawback, that is there is one limitation. What is this? For example, A equals to 10 and B equals to 10, C equals to 10. Now 10 A and it is referred by B and it is referred by also C. Now see, what is the problem here is, here the object 10 is referred by how many variables? 3 variables. How many variables? 3 variables. Now as a programmer, among these 3 variables, if I am going to change the value of one variable, as a programmer, among these 3 variables, if I am going to change the value of one variable, for example, I change the value, that is 20. Now what will be happen? The same value will be reflected to the variable B and also to the variable C. The same value will be reflected to the variable B and to the variable C. But actually here what is the values of B and C? 10, 10. But because of changing the value of in one variable, what will be happen? The variable B value and variable C value will also be changing, because these 3 variables are referred to only to the same object. These 3 variables are referred to the same object. So due to this one, that what will be happen? Immutability concept is required to overcome this problem. Immutability concept is required. What is the problem here? Actually we require the B value and C value same, that is 10. But because of changing one variable value, the remaining variable values is also changing. Why? Means because of that 3 variables are referred to the same object. Hence here we required one concept to overcome this problem, that is immutability concept. What is this immutability concept? Means once creates an object, then we are not allowed to change the value of the object. Object value. That means once you create an object, then we cannot modify or change the values of the object. Or if you are going to try to change the value of the object, for example 20, then a new object will be created. So that is the immutability concept. So what is this one? If you are here, because of changing the value of an object, then what will be happen? The remaining reference variable values also be changing. Why? Means because these 3 reference variables are assigned to the same object, are referred to the same object. If any one variable value will change, means then remaining 2 variable values also be changed. So immutability concept is required. What is this? If once create an object, then we cannot change the value of that object or modify the value of the object. That is called immutability concept. Let me see in depth. First, see mutable objects. What is this mutable object? Mutable means, for example, an object is there now 10, and for example this is referred some x reference variable. Now once this object is created, then it is able to change or modify the values of that object. It is able to modify or change the values of the object. That is the mutable object or mutable type object. If any object is able to change the values of the object or modify the values, then that type of object is called mutable object. So simply we can say what is a mutable object means, once you create an object, then we can change or modify the values of the object. That is the mutable object. So let me see, we'll see this example in this practical way. Now see. First see a equals to 10. Before going to discuss that example, that is mutable type example, some programs, right, I will discuss with you, which is represent that same object. B equals to 10. Now here what? A equals to 10 and B equals to 10. Now tell me, A and B are referenced to the same object or not? According to the discussion, yes, it is the two, that is two variables are referring to the same object. Sir, how can we check? First we will check by using id function. Print id function of A. 1 minute. Yeah, id function of A, and then print id function of B. See, if these two values or if these two variables are referring the same object, then we'll get same memory address for A and B. Same memory address for A and B. So let me print this, let me run this program. Now Python test.py. Now see what happened here. We are getting same address or different address? Same address, right? So it means what? A and B are representing same object, or A and B are referring same object. Now in another way we can check. Let me write that program with the small modifications. Print A is B. Print A is B. That means if A and B are referring same objects, then it returns true. Otherwise it returns false. Now see, let me run this program. What happened? Yes, A and B returns true. That means A and B are referring the same object. Same object. So this is the practical. Now we'll try to do some other modification. For example, A equals to 10 and B equals to 20. Now what happened? A is representing one object and B is representing another object. That means now A and B are referring to two different objects. Two different objects. Now see, we will get different memory addresses for A and B. Now I save this program and running this one. Now see what happened? We are getting what? Two different memory addresses, and it is also returns what? False. So it means what? Now A and B are what? Representing or referring two different objects. So as we discussed now in the previous slides, the PVM won't, that is Python virtual machine, won't create an object immediately. First it will check, is there any existing object with the same value or not. If the existing object is available, then that object will be reused to and reference to that variable. Or if there is no existing object, then only the new object will be created by the Python virtual machine. This is very important. For example, now A equals to 10, C equals to 10, C equals to 10. Actually, know what happened here? Both are, sorry, these three variables are, otherwise we will do like this one. For example, I am removing this variable. Now, print A and then print B. I save this program. Now I will run. See what happened? Again, same memory address and it representing same object, that is A and B representing same objects. That's why it returns true, and the values also is printing. Now, for example, what happened? Now I change the value. I change the value. Now what happened? Now we will create what? Two different objects. See, false. I hope you understood this problem. That means if you want to represent same, if you want to represent that different or new object, then compulsory we have to change the value of the object. So hence here we are using what? Immutability concept and mutable concept. What is this mutable and immutable concepts? Mutable means once an object is created, then we cannot change the, so then we can change the values of the object. For example, A equals to, I am taking list 10, 20, 30. Now print A. Now I save this program and run this one. Now what happened? So what are the values in the list A? In the list object 10, 20, 30. Now I need to change the value. Now see, A append function, by using append function we can add the values 40 and now print A. First, whenever this statement is executed, an object is created. In that object, what are the values? 10, 20, 30. Now I am trying to change the values of that object. That means 10, 20, 30 and one more value is adding, that is 40. We will see whether this list object will change or not. Now I run this program. What happened? Yes, it is changed. It means once creates an object of the list, then we can change the values of the object of the list. So it is comes under for immutable concept. For example, A dot, we have one function, that is remove function. For example, I am removing 30 value and now print function, right? Now see, it will be removed from the list, that is 30 value, 10, 20, 40. So now tell me, according to this thing, the list object is an mutable object or immutable object? Of course, here the list object are able to change the values of the object even though after creating an object. So that's why we can say that list object is what? Mutable object. Now the next thing, immutable concepts. So immutable objects is refers what? Once create an object, then we cannot change the value of the object. That means the values of that Python objects is fixed. So let me see, for example, we take an example practically. Now see, string, otherwise we will take like this one, A equals to hello. Now print A. So I save this program and run this program. It will print what? Hello. Next. Now I need to change the character H to some another character, that is A or B. Okay, now what is the index value of H? 0. So A of 0 equals to, A of 0 equals to I am going to change the character, that is C, and again print A. Now I save this program and run this program. See, now we will get what? An error. What is that one? Type error. String object does not support item assignment. That means for the string objects cannot able to change the values of the object once the object is created. That means once the string object is created, then we are not able to change the values of the object. We are not able to change the values of the object. So that is the about mutable and immutable. So here see, we are trying to change the values of the object, but what happened here? It is not able to change the values object. Even though if you are going to try, then we are getting that error, that is type error. Type error. So because this is what? Immutable concepts. Now this is the mutable and immutable. Of course here tuple object is also what? Immutable, comes under immutable. Anyway, today's discussion, just we'll see an overview. Mutable and immutable objects are handled differently in Python. That immutable objects are quicker to access and are expensive to change because it involves the creation of a copy. That means immutable objects, for immutable objects, it is not possible to change the values of the object. Maybe we can retrieve that type, that we can retrieve that object values in easy way, whereas these mutable objects are easy to change the values of the object. Next, when these mutable objects will be useful? So the use of these mutable objects is recommended where there is a need to change the size or content of the object. That means if you want to change the object size of the object, as we seen that list object, just now we discussed 10, 20, 30, but I need to change the size of that object, that is up to 4, 10, 20, 30, 40. So at this requirement you can use what? Mutable object. Anyway, there are some examples comes under mutable data types, that is list data type, dictionary data type, sets data type, and of course all user defined classes. Next, what are the examples for immutable data types? All basic data types comes under immutable data types, that is integer, float, complex, boolean. Next, tuple is also comes under immutable data type, and strings is also immutable data type, and fortune set is also immutable data type. Anyway, we will discuss about the list, dictionary, set, fortune set, tuples in next class video. This is about mutable and immutable concept. Thank you.